Hello everyone, welcome to Foreigner Farming in the Philippines. Well, I've began to siphon out the water of this pit, this old breeding tank here. I don't know if there's any fish still in it or not. There was close to a dozen about a week ago, but as I have procrastinated on getting the water drained out and getting them out, I don't know, there's probably a bird that's come along and eaten them all by now. But anyway, I'm going to drain this pit and take the tarp out, get all the mud out of it in anticipation of putting another hollow block on it and properly rendering the walls. I'm also going to set it up. I've already got the screen. I'm going to set it up so that fingerlings can be easily harvested out of it. And I should bring that screen down here to test it. I've also made up my mind that these, while doing it with tarps was okay because it's what we had at the time, I've decided that we're just going to put in little cement tanks here, and it's based, the size of them, they're going to be about this long, but the size of them is the width and the height is going to be based on the width of the screen, because I want to be able to get them all out when it's ready to take them out. And I think these are just going to be used. I may turn this back into a breeding tank, but these 4 pits, which will probably be turned into 2 or 3 long pits, they'll be the grow out tanks. And if I do decide to turn this back into a breeding tank again, I'm going to put screen in the very bottom, fine mesh screen like what you would have in your windows, and then a large net, a large holed net above that, so that if and when I wanted to harvest the fry out of it, I could just lift the net that has the bigger holes in it, lift it out, get all the adults out in one pull, and then be able to get all the fry out in one pull as well. And just take the fry and put them in a grow out pit. So there's only a few little fish left in this one here. It's leaking somewhere, somehow. The water keeps going down. The water's gone down to such a level now. I've seen 2 little fish swimming around in there. So I'm going to drain this one as well and just abandon it for the time being and keep these other 3 going. The fish that are in this one, if Tata gets back in time today to help me, I'm going to take the fish out of this one and put them in the grow out cage in the pond. Something got the dog stirred up. So I'm going to let this continue to siphon and see if there's any fingerlings still in it, and if there are, I will capture them little dudes and put them over in one of these pits here. Well, there they are. They're still in there. They're being kind of cagey. Yeah, right there. And they're all still in there, and their bellies look big, so they've obviously had plenty to eat in there. So I'll get this drained down as low as I can get it, and see if I can get them fished out of there. Alright, well, there were 7 of them. We got them all. So in they go in their new little home. I'm going to drain this one. I think there's only 2 fish left in this, but I'm going to drain it and catch them. I'm going to remove this tarp. Make double sure here, because they'll hide and they won't move for a few minutes. I think I got them all. Alright, so I'm going to remove this tarp and get it ready to properly render and add a block to it to bring up the walls a little bit. Yeah, I'm draining this one out. As far as I can tell, now there's 3 fish in it. And these are fair enough size, so we will transfer them. Come on, get in there. Where's that other one? I know there's 3. There he is. It's a shame because we'd put 50 in this, I think. I'll have to go back and check the video. It might have been even substantially more than that. But it's obvious that in uncovered pits like this, there's some very fat birds or dogs. Well, I don't know how much of that got recorded. It ended. Said the battery was low. I think I've got a bad connection. But anyway, there was 3 fish in this. Good sized. I don't know what that is. But they're out. But like I was saying, it's a shame because I think we put between 50 and 100 in this pit. 50 to 100 fingerlings. It just goes to show you that this has to be done a little more better. These pits have to be covered. And if we're going to go to the trouble of properly covering them, they need to just be properly constructed as well. So while the tarps were a means to an end, their usefulness is over. So there's no other option but to put in more tanks just like that one and make this like it's supposed to be. I'm just worried about the fish in these 2 now. Should probably just take them all out and take them down to the pond and just abandon these for now until we can get it properly outfitted. I'll make sure there's no little guys left in there. Nope, there was 3 fish left in there. And that's, you know, that's what happens when the water level gets low and those cranes can just walk around in here and feast. Now this one is, you know, that deep. So unless he can see them, he can't get them. But still, that's way too shallow. Those cranes can walk around in water that's a foot deep. Again, this one's about the same depth. So we've just got to build tanks like those, a little bit deeper, with higher sides on them, so we don't have to worry about the dogs, and covered so we don't have to worry about the birds, and properly with proper screens and nets in them to make harvesting the fish easy. Because now me and Tatai, to get these out of here, are going to have to stoop over and drag around that net, and it takes half a dozen times to get them all. It's just a colossal pain. in the behind when it could be done so much easier if we were just set up right to do it. So probably be abandoning these. I don't know. Rainiel and Ronma are coming tomorrow. Perhaps I'll have them harvest these. Whatever's left in this one are ready to go in the tank, or in the cage, I mean, in the cage we just built. I know we put over 100 in this side, and I can tell by the color of the water there's quite a few fish in there, because it's dark. It's a dark green. Whether or not there's 100, I don't know. 20 or 30 I'd be happy with, but putting in 100 fry and ending up with even 20 or 30 is not good. And I know we put in probably 100 in these two, and who knows what's left. So best thing to do is just to get them out. Now, of course, the birds can still get to them in the main pond, but they've got to come up to shallow water to be prey, whereas in here there's no escape. There's no place to run to. There's no deep water. Alright, well, I've shoveled a good deal of the mud out of this, put it around that grapevine over there. I'm going to pull the tarp and see if I've got enough of it out. I know how heavy this mud can get after a while. So hopefully I've got enough of it out. I just want to pull this tarp up and then just dump it out that far end. Hopefully, that's the plan. I'm gonna have to come by and hose all that mud off the leaves of that grapevine. I'm sure it's not liking that mud bath much. It's probably liking it. Its roots are probably liking it, but I don't think its leaves are liking it much. Well, I was able to get it out, and yeah, by the time it got down here, it was pretty dang heavy. But I'm glad I was able to get it out without dumping a bunch of the mud back in it, because there's no drain in this. This sandy stuff here from the well I can shovel out, but that little bit of mud right there, and some of that's from my feet, that's no big deal. As you can see the reason we put the tarp in this. The cracks in it. This is just 2 hollow blocks. There was never any form bar put in it. The bottom is not that thick, maybe 1.5 inches. This was never meant to be a water holding tank per se. This was originally meant for worms, as a worm bed. And so it wasn't designed or built as a water tank, but it's going to be used as a water tank now. So I'm going to build up, just put one more hollow block on it. I'm going to leave it up to Tatai how he wants to attach it. The additional hollow block, it's not going to have to hold water higher than the existing wall, the height of the existing wall. I don't want to put another hollow block in it just so I can add another 4 inches of water. I just want to put another hollow block in it so if there's a wall, so that the dogs just can't reach in and get the fish out. Because if there's another hollow block on it, then the surface of the water will be 10 inches below the rim, and it'll be covered anyway. And I don't know, it's too late now, but I'd been keeping the water level at about this height right here when it had breeder fish in it. So it was only, what is that, 10 inches deep maybe? Well, now I'll be able to come all the way up to the top, 16 inches or so. Well, 15, or 14 even, because I don't know how much deeper Tatai thinks we need to make this floor, and this will, I'm sure it'll just be a render. It'll be more render on the sides and more in the bottom, just to make it watertight. And I'm going to leave that entirely up to Tatai's expertise. So I'm going to finish shoveling this out and call the tank part done. I'm also going to, well, I'll probably wait a couple days. This camera is being persnickety this morning. I don't know how much of that it actually recorded. But anyway, I'm gonna finish cleaning this out a little bit, and I'm gonna leave that until tomorrow. I'm gonna let the lads haul that dirt out of there and haul it into the garden. But that will be removed as well. And hopefully me and Tatai can get all these fish moved out of here tomorrow, and there'll be a lot of dirt to move. I'm done. Thank you everyone. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.